Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, August 4th. We're looking at window traders market profile of the ES and the NQ. Boy, oh boy, fascinating day. This market continues to fascinate boys and girls of all ages. We thought early we might have some decent moves in the first 2 hours of trading after non-farm payroll and the earnings last night. And then maybe kind of dry up for another summer Friday. Boy, oh boy, that wasn't the case. They turned twice. They did two things that surprised me. Now, I stayed out of trouble, had a good day and a good week, very good week. That's also, I think, just not learning to not get stubborn and stuff. But I did not expect to go trend up. I did think we would fill the single prints from the other day, which we did, but I didn't expect to do it being a trend day up fashion. That went away, and then when everything that MGI wise that was in favor of the buyers, which was indices at the time, value, TPO raised, volume POC raised, IB high, overnight high, I was looking for an afternoon pullback. Now there would be days past where I would have gotten stubborn and gotten crushed on this move down. I did not. Actually lost on one trade. On that one, we'll go over everything in a minute. I took a long at 40 right above the opening, got below the opening, got out of 36 out of 2 lot, lost 8 points on it. That was it. Learned my lesson. Now, did I get involved on the sell side as much as I should? Not even close. But again, when I'm not sure what's going on, I go neutral, and that's what I kind of did up here. I was looking to fade new high. And I didn't once we went trend. I did take the break of G, but I took it for very little because I thought we were just going to fill the single prints and look for an afternoon pullback. We had raised POC, we had raised volume POC, all the volume was up here. So very, very surprised at the move down. Now, there was a gentleman in my room who's been in my room a long time, and this is what's great about our room. He wasn't saying it down here. Look, we always try to tell you what we're looking for, whether we're right or wrong, prior to it happening. Right? Like I said, I didn't think we were going to go trend when we were trading around E. Well, I was wrong. Didn't hold, but I was wrong initially. He was saying up here, based on things he looked at, that not only wouldn't we hold trend, he thought we would take out the day's low and the overnight low, and possibly yesterday's low. Now, we had a nice little discussion about it. I said at the time, there's no way I see that because of all the MGI that's happening. He was dead ass right, man. He was spot on, right? It's not he's right, I'm wrong, I'm right, he's wrong. It's a discussion as to why, what he's looking at, what I'm looking at. And that's, again, what makes this our trading room so special, that you have those. So kudos to him. He had a great short up there and crushed it. So great job by one of our traders in the room. We kept, I think, the majority, if not all, of our traders out of trouble today. We tell people if they're not sure what's going on, there's no harm being neutral, right? Take the break of G. This is a perfect example. If you're not sure, right, you're like, well, I don't think we're going to go trend, but why fight it shorting F's high, shorting G's high? Yeah, you're not going to get the high. And we said this. Take the break of G. Now, I took it only to fill the single prints because I really thought we might fill them and come in a little more and look. I thought maybe around H low or maybe a little low around D and E low to look for an afternoon pullback. But that's a much better risk reward short. And if you held it, boy, oh boy, you crushed it. On the week, I made 68 points in ES, I think, and just about 300 in NQ. 2 losses today, both in ES. One was that 8-point loss. One was the loss in B period. I thought we would hold trend down at that. I thought we might go trend down at that point. Well, that turned out to be wrong. So I took that off for a 2-point loss. But prior to that, I made money overnight, shorting the overnight high, prior to the overnight high, making a little on that. made small on long against the opening in A. NQ, I took a short that made me 40 points in NQ to take out A's low. So that worked. That was a beautiful one. I'm looking at my trades. They're all over the place. Shorted C period against A's high, made money in ES. Took a long in E period because we were one time framing up, thinking we might finally get and take out the day's high, which we did. Then I went to NQ and took a long to see if we'd pop the top, and we did. I made 14 points on that. I did short F period. Now, I did short that and made 2 points in F period. And again in H period. I took the short to fill the single print. So I did make money on shorts in F and H. Then I took the long in I, which cost me 8 points. And then after that, I didn't do anything except in L. I made 4 points scalping a short. So again, I went neutral twice today. Once at F and G's high, basically, because I didn't know how much they really wanted to do. And then again, once we got below the opening in J period, I was like, well, I'm really not sure what they want to do. I should have just listened to the trader in the room and just smacked on a size short. I would have crushed it. But good day, good week. Again, there's no harm being on the sideline, right? Just because I don't want to be long doesn't mean I have to be short if I'm not sure, right? So, and I didn't. As far as destinations, we're going to recap all these charts. Things are looking a little interesting. By the way, we had an outside day down in ES and SPY. NQ had an outside week down, but they escaped the outside day down. Upside in SPY and ES. 446.67 price probe. I'll be using L's low. Then 2 sets of single prints. They're both very small, but they're there. 447.73 to 91. Then 448.50 to 77. And then today's high, 452.90. For the downside, we have today's low, 446.27. 446.29 wide from July 20th. SPY did not get into their gap. They didn't even get that daily low, which is 444.91, filling the gap at 442.97. ES did get into the gap. So it's today's low of 93.75, which is a weekly low, and then filling the gap at 78.50. And inside of there, they have an 11 wide pocket of 83.75 from July 5th. And then they have their price probe at 65.25. On the upside, price probe today is 97.75. Single prints 08.75 to 09.75, only 1 point. 16.50 to 18.75, only a little over 2 points. And today's high of 60.75. Now we did spend some time. Remember, the last time we were at 4,500, we just blew above it and didn't look back. So today we did trade there for 3 time frames, K, L, and M. So the question is, are we going to play a little more there and then get a directional move to go down and fill the gap and go down in the weekly? Or are we going to play there a little more, hold that downside gap, hold the weekly low, and take back some of this day and stay in balance on the weekly? It all remains to be seen. And then on our charts. So let's start with Russell. Once again, Russell is in a balance for eternity on the monthly from May of 2022 through August of 23 so far. They don't come out of that balance to the upside unless they get above 201.99. Okay? They are one time framing up on the monthly, but I will not call it up until we take out that monthly high. Okay? So for now, they're still balanced on the monthly. The weekly, did they take out last week's low? I think they did. Give me 1 second. We did. Weekly is balance. You want to call it a 2-week balance? You want to call it a 3-week balance? This weekly low, 191.14. I would probably call it a 3-week balance. So if we take out this week's low, I wouldn't call the weekly down just yet unless we got below 191.14. So I'd call the weekly balance. So the monthly is balanced, the weekly is balanced, and guess what? So is the daily. 3-day balance. Okay? They closed right below their 20-day moving average. So they're in balance in all 3 time frames. Now, The NASDAQ, which has been the best acting of everything this year, is still up on the monthly. Okay? So last month's low is 363.41. So there's still $9 or so above it. So it's still healthy for now. However, the weekly is now down. Okay? The weekly came out of a 2-week balance to the downside. Now, they did not have an outside week down. Oh, yes, they did have an outside week down, not an outside day down. So even though the weekly is down and it's an outside week down, so it's kind of bearish for the triple Qs and NQ. So the monthly is healthy, but the intermediate is not, as it's down with an outside week down. And the daily is a 3-day balance, but they just missed having an outside week down, day down. Yesterday's low was 371.77. They closed at 372.04, so they don't have an outside day down. So what was the volume this week? The volume this week is 268 million in triple Qs. So the week before was 247, the week before 282. So even though it was an outside week down, it's not crazy heavy volume. We'll see if that picks up next week if we start trading lower. So the monthly's up, the weekly is down, outside week down, the daily is balance. And then for us, the monthly is up, still healthy, right? We never got March's high in SPY. We got it in ES, did not get it in SPY. Now it remains to be seen if we do after this week. We're in a 3-week balance. If we take out today's low, to me the weekly would then be down. I would not call this a 4-week balance. I would not encompass this. If we take out this week's low, to me the weekly would be down. Okay? So the weekly is balanced right now. And the daily is also balanced, 3 days. Now I always say one day doesn't make a market, but this is the 3rd day now in a row that we closed below the 20. We were above it today at one point by about $1.50. We closed below it. We closed down on the week just over $10. Looks like it's $10.11. $10.11. So we'll see if we come out of this balance to the downside. Now on the tape, 99 million with the after hours. So we're going to do 100, but I don't think we'll crack the top 10 in volume, which is 112 million. I don't think we'll do 12 million. That's 10% in the after hours. So our monthly is up, our weekly is balanced, our daily is balanced. If we take out today's low, both the weekly and daily would then be down. So we'll see if things are changing here. Our gap up above is still our main focus. The gap below is still our main focus, which we have not filled. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. I hope you had a great day and a great week trading. Rest up, enjoy yourselves. Come and check us out at camelbacktrading.org, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.